If you're doing your first or your second deal, don't worry so much about the policies and procedures that you have. What I would worry about, though, Jake, which is really, really important, is the people that are on that property. If you have to hire a property manager, make sure they align with your values. Make sure they have experience. Make sure they can teach you something.
Hello, everybody. Jake and Gino here, and today we're discussing the top 3 things that we change when taking over an apartment building. Gang, we're constantly looking for ways to systematize our business and replace repeatable decision-making. So things we got to constantly think about with systems and frameworks to take the thought process out of it and focus our attention and our decision-making on higher level problems. So ultimately, today what we're doing is we're discussing the 3 Ps to taking over an apartment complex. Gino, how's it going?
Jay, good. I'm going to give you the 5 Ps that everyone should focus on in their business before you give them the 3 Ps. How about that?
I don't know. Is this going to be like PG here? Because I think you're going dark on me.
I am always PG, bro. I keep it clean.
Is that stand for Papa Gino?
No.
PG? Okay.
Yes, Papa. Okay. Proper planning prevents poor performance. If you do Jake's 3 Ps, you got to do my 5 Ps first to do Jake's 3 Ps. So Jake,
your new nickname is PG. Your new nickname is PG for Papa
Yes.
Gino. Sure.
Yes.
No. Okay. So gang, the first one here is the price. Whenever we go in and take over an apartment complex, the price usually is going to change. And that's because we buy stuff that, on the front end is usually value add deals. So we go in and we say, okay, what is the new market rent price going to be? We have units in the area. We get the averages and we say, this is where the price is going to go. And then we also implement our fee structure, which is typically never the same as the prior owner. So number one, we always adjust price.
Let me jump in there real quick. And I was talking to you earlier, Jake, we had that Buy Right boot camp for the Jake and Gino community. We actually dove into how to actually figure out what your price is. It's really important. If you're looking at an apartment complex, you've got to look at the vintage. First thing, if you're buying a 1980s apartment complex, you're not going to get the same pricing as a 2020 build. First thing. The second thing is the size. If your apartment complex is 50 units, but you're trying to comp it out to an apartment complex that's 200 units, it's not really going to work. So be careful.
Amenities are going to be different a lot of the times.
Amenities is another very important thing. Jake, if you've got washer dryer hookups and I've got one laundromat for 80 units, guess what? Your property is a little bit more desirable. And I think unit mix and the size of the units. Jake, man, you're a baller. You got 2,000 square feet for 2 beds. I've got a 700 square foot 2 bed. Well, the price is not going to be the same. So understand how you do rental comps. And if you want to learn more, just go to jakeandgino.com/webinar. We host webinars monthly. Every month we're doing webinars. Actually, this month, May 23rd at 8 p.m., we're going to be talking about property management pitfalls. And we're going to be discussing how to manage the assets. So go to jakeandgino.com/webinar, and you're going to be able to schedule and get on that webinar live. And if you miss it, don't worry about it. We've got the previous one there as well. You can watch the last month's webinar as well there. But it's really important. The price is that first one, and understand what the pricing is on your specific product.
Yeah, it's a great point you make, because the true operators, the people that can really operate and manage these properties, are the ones that are going to be successful at this point of the market cycle. So the second thing that we change is the product. And here's the thing. And again, these are value add deals. So we're going to go in and say, okay, what's the flooring? We're probably going to 20-year LVP flooring. We're going to evaluate the kitchen, find out where we can improve. And ultimately, the curb appeal, that's a huge one. I'll give you an example. We just bought 128 units. We're completely upgrading the breezeways because they're not up to our standards. So we're putting some stone and some vinyl siding in to really clean them up, because sheetrock in a breezeway for us is a no-go. It just doesn't work. It doesn't stay clean. And it doesn't have the pride of ownership or the type of community feel that we're looking for. So the second is the product. Now, the third one is really, it's the process, but it encompasses 3 more Ps, which are policies, procedures, and people. And let's start with the people piece of this, because ultimately, again, with these properties that we're going into, we've seen things from property managers that we've been looking to hire say the reason they love the job is because they have so much time to read Danielle Steele romance novels. That's not going to be a good fit for us, okay? So very few times are there people fits as we're going in and taking over a complex. Usually we have to bring in a whole new crew. We have to bring in our policies and procedures. So it's a whole new process. So those are the 3 Ps. process, price, and product. And those are the major changes that we make when taking over an apartment building.
Jake, if there's anyone on right now listening and you're just starting out, don't be overwhelmed by the third one, that third P, that process, because
Comes with time. Yeah.
When we started out, it was Jake driving a lawnmower, Gino doing the Gino
And I
doing the
had an American
bookkeeping.
bandana for my hat, right?
And you know what? We had 1,000 units. Jake rolls up into a property and he sees this mom and pop owner who's got a tractor in the garage. He's like, maybe I'll start cutting grass again. I'm like, Jake, we're not making money cutting grass, my friend. So as you're listening to this, I think you're just starting out. It's very important to focus on the price and the product. If you're doing your first or your second deal, don't worry so much about the policies and procedures that you have. What I would worry about, though, Jake, which is really, really important, is the people that are on that property. If you have to hire a property manager, make sure they align with your values. Make sure they have experience. Make sure they can teach you something. You're not there on your first or second deal to be training people up that should have the knowledge of it. So don't focus so much on those, but the people part of that process is really, really important when you're first starting out, whether it's a resident manager and people also, all the people listening out there, property management companies are really, really important. At Jake and Gino, we have the 3-step framework, the 3 pillars. We talk about buy right, finance right. That third component is manage right. We have a lot of students who come into our community. They own 100, 200, 500 units. They want to scale up, but that processes, the people and the policies, they don't have it. They're like, well, how do I learn? And I want to scale up and use third party. Well, we're teaching a lot of these students how to actually go out there and vet third party property management because that's so important. You're not just an accumulator of multifamily. You're becoming a multifamily entrepreneur. And for you to know how to do that and how to learn how to do that, you have to view these as assets, not just you being the landlord, but you're taking over these businesses. And that's what I love for people to really focus on. As you're looking at these 3 Ps, every little one of these deals is a little cash machine, is a little cash monster. And focusing on those 3 Ps for every single one of these deals is going to make that deal more profitable. And ultimately down the road is going to create a ton of wealth for you.
Tend to the ranch. If you're somebody that believes in systems and likes scalability, multifamily is a great place for you to be and create wealth because you can duplicate those systems through each of your communities. And that's what we're attempting to do here with our 3 Ps. So good stuff, Gino. And to Gino's point, hit us up, jakeandgino.com/webinar. You can learn more there as we start to unveil our management techniques and whatnot this month. So gang, as always, we believe in buying deals for the long term. Think in decades. I'm Jake, and he's the PG today. He is the Papa Gino, and we make it happen. We'll see you next time.
Thanks, Jake.